All right. I is back. Let me go ahead and open these all up. Yes. Yes, but oh, tessellation shader with directional would look sick on that. Dude, that'd be awesome. So basically you have a height map where all the snow is at. You tessellate and displace those vertices, but you only have it look on the Y. That would be pretty awesome looking, I think. You'd have to have a little bit of a fall off in that range on the X and Z, so that the snow kind of clumps up around the edges. All right, let me just get these pieces ready to go. One thing. Oh, another follow. Art dude, thanks, man. Is it SM for small? Small art dude? I'm a small art dude too. Not in the belly region, but you know. You know. Okay, so before we keep going here, there's a couple people that have been asking or wondering what the Scrapbox thing is. So we made this thing called the Scrapbox. Well, the website is called Scrapbox, but it is the DiNusty Discord tutorials and resources page. And basically, you guys post whatever you want in, where are we at here? Resources. And then they get grabbed and put in here in the correct section. So, like, if you want to learn about Moto, you click Moto, and you've got all these Moto tutorials and videos and links and scripts and kits and paid for stuff and free stuff, and yeah, it just keeps going. But the way you navigate it is you've got this page, then you go to, let's go to Maya. You've got Maya, you've got all these links. They got a little money symbol on them, they cost money. Scroll down. If you go back down here, there's a basically going back to this page, or you can just press the back arrow or go back. But this is also where you do your portfolio reviews. You'll see who's coming up, as well as a form to sign up for that. And then there's a link to the Discord in here, as well as the Artstation. Oh, and I need to add the Instagram that we have now. You guys have an Instagram. When you guys post work in the finished art section of the Discord, it goes in here. I just kind of grab and people nominate. If you feel that one needs to be in here that is not in here, just message me and let me know which one it is. Right now it is just the moderators going, this one needs to be in there. And then I put it in there, as you can see. And then you get the link to the artist's name, to their Artstation, as well as some quick comment. And then some tags so that lots of people see your stuff. Yes, so there is that. All right, let's look at the responses on the live art critique doc. So I think I'm gonna start doing it like this because it seems to be putting a little less stress and pressure on me. So what I'll do is I post this link here. You click on that, and then it takes you to this. You put your Discord name, either a link to your references or inspiration, because that'll really help me give you critiques or comments. Jordan, what's up, buddy? You're a cool-ass community. Whatever that means. Thanks, dude. A link to your reference or inspiration helps me a lot in trying to figure out what to say or to critique or comment on with your work. Then a link to your work, and then if there's anything specific you want me to focus on, and then, yeah. And then I just go through those. The responses are here. I just click that, and then I start going through them. No, so YouTube and live critiques are one and the same. Everything that happens on stream that's live eventually gets pushed to the YouTube channel. These are, on YouTube, these would be called the Discord critiques. So we got Ander. Here's his reference. I probably should be vetting these links before I just put them on stream. Give me a second here. So that's the reference. That guy looks cool as... let's see here. Then we've got this scene. So Leroy Jacobs Mountain Shack. I was waiting for the Jenkins comment, but to no avail. Pretty cool. The attention to detail, all the propping, pretty nice. Lighting is on point. Yeah, it looks pretty good. There's a few things. Let me see if I can. So I like that there's a color to the shadows instead of the shadows just being super dark. So the ambient color looks like is the same as the outside ambient lighting. It's really good. Nice, dude. The the egg and the sausage. Very good, very good. Great picture here too. So definitely there's some reference stuff going on in this scene. So what do we got? Everything feels like it's floating. How can I rectify that? So you're talking about things like this on the wall and I'll try to see what I can. So to me, things don't really feel like they're floating all that much. I can see where there are a few issues. Light map resolution and grounding shadows are pretty key. Like you can see with your ladles and stuff here, these shadows that are against the wall help attach it to the wall, right? So those are grounding it. When it comes to the shelves like this, the shelves are being underlit, so you can't rely on shadows or ambient occlusion to help ground those. Oh, that's interesting. So there's a half log under each shelf. So what you could do is add a little bit of either dirt in a decal or grime or some type of dirty, drippy stuff. I wish there was a better way to explain that. Because like right now, you're right, like you're saying, in this area, like this is the piece here, and then it does this. But you don't get that, right? You get it a little bit here because the shadow. So what you could do, depending on if this is placed with this, if you know these are always going to be placed, oh, that's actually interesting. So you could, okay, what you could do is you could take this bottom piece, you could bake an ambient occlusion for if it's in contact with something on top of it, and then an ambient occlusion of it without that, and then expose that in the shader and switch between the two depending on if you use it here or not. Because maybe you're going to use this here, right? Maybe these logs are the same as these ones, and in that case you wouldn't want to use that AO. But when you do place it under this, then you could just apply that AO and then you would be good to go. So it's like it's getting a connection. Oh, why? No. There we go. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. So getting a connection like this, where they kind of meet, right? That'll probably even be more emphasized down here. So you have your AO there, and then I guess on this under area here, you probably have some type of dirty information. Like, man, I don't even know what I would, how would I, is there any type of textural? I don't have any custom brushes, so I'll just do this. Smudge that around. Gross. Gross. Get that out of here. Something that helps ground it, right? That's what we're looking for. Whoa, what is going on, chat? Question to everyone here. When you do environment art, do you draw concept art and plan everything out? Planning everything out's pretty important. But as far as where you get your idea, you have an idea in your head, grab some reference, that's your concept art. Find cool stuff online that you want to recreate or use as inspiration. That's your reference point, as well as like guidance as to what you should build prop-wise. For fantasy stuff always has some form of reference, right? So a bucket is a bucket. If it's in fantasy, it's still a bucket. If it's a fantasy look you're going for that hasn't been invented, then you're going to need some concepting. Anywho, I don't feel like there's much floating going on here. I think these are floating a little bit. But that can be fixed with maybe a light up here. If you had like a light up here, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, if you had a light up here going this way, then you would start to get shadows behind here. It's just because your shadows are coming from, like your light direction's going this way. So your shadows are all above and behind instead of like where you would expect them. So maybe you need to, maybe your ambient occlusion could help with this as well. Like screen space ambient occlusion. But it's contact shadows. Like, I don't know how you turn that on, but in Unreal, there is a contact shadows, which is screen space. Screen space contact shadows. Let me see if I can find like a... Here we go. Yeah, so like contact shadows, and you see here, there's lighting hitting there, but obviously that side's supposed to be in shadow. Contact shadows kind of take care of these. Oh, I wanted to grab that. No. It's a GIF. Let it GIF. What? Oh, there we go. Yeah, and if I remember correctly, contact shadows are a render time effect that's happening, like screen space. So in your light section in the details panel, your newly created point light component by clicking on the arrow, blah, blah, blah. There's a little down arrow there. Contact shadow length. Shadow length to a value greater than 0. You're directing the renderer to trace rays for the pixel's position toward the light source. There you go. So it's in your point light. In the expanded options, it looks like. Enable contact shadows by setting it to a greater value than 0. But yeah, contact shadows. That might help. Let's go on to the next one. Man, this where's that shot? This shot is awesome. I feel like it might be a little too dark. Like in this view, it doesn't look that dark at all, but I think, like, I'd be curious to see what this looks like albedo only, because maybe the wood texture is just a little too dark in the albedo. Because, like, here, you can see all the information, right? You can see it all. I feel like these guys don't have either light map UVs, or their resolution is really high or low by comparison to the wall. Because you can see there's AO happening on the wall here, or shadows. But this is not really getting any of that information. So there's a pretty harsh line there. That might be worth looking at. Let's see who is next. Omega. Omega. All right, Omega is looking at some Gears of War concept art. Oops. Whoa. Oh, yeah, there it is. All right. You can tell those are cover props. They're fitting a metric that is the exact height they need to be for you to be able to cover on and not get hit by the AI. And then having your peak options. Like this side here is probably metric-wise the same as here in game. Like you can see from side view, they're all the same. Like, how do we make this box interesting looking? Let's see about the piece. The piece. What the hell? That's hilarious. It's even labeled DiNusty critique. All right, so whoop. Modeling wise, looks pretty solid. All the details seem to be there. Let's do this. Kill that. Oh man, this is gonna get jarring for a second. There we go. Okay. I'm just gonna zoom in here. And then can, oh yeah, no, I click on these. That's cool. It's cool. Okay, so looking at the concept, looking at your work, we're looking at it very literally, right? Instead of like, oh, this is like inspired by, like you're going for it. You're going for the look. So this area here and like all these details up here look like they're using the same material, this edge as well. And then these little inset pieces all look to be using a kind of darker metal. And in yours, I think maybe because of how the specular or the roughness is set up in your maps, you're losing that darkness in turn for like these highlights that are like lighting up this edge. You see the highlights on here are, I mean, it is a concept, but like the highlights aren't as, I mean, I guess they're probably sharper than this material. So I think making your albedo darker for these to get them to separate out from the rest is pretty important. Let's see if we can just like, oh wow. Oh, is this gonna work? No way. Actually, we'll just dupe this up here. Oh, nope. It's like this whole center area here, right? Needs to be darker. And you can see what that does. It allows the for some material breakup. We'll just do this top area and then stop it at that. This is also darker. Oh. Then we'll make sure that the center area is not. So and then you've got that the, what is it? I forget the type of metal that is, but you've got that kind of down. And then it looks like there's a bit of a rusty material there. I think I'm just going to do it to the whole front of this because it'll be important to see. It's going to be a little dirty in the way I do it, but it's fine. See, I even think these are What is it? Galvanized steel. That is exactly what it is. Thank you. I know every time I open Substance Painter, I see it. Whoop. Okay. So we've got that, and then you've got this like rusting stuff that's going on here. So we'll just like oh yeah, see, dude, it is there. So it's just not, it's not really coming through all that well. Oh, that's interesting. So what I'm trying to do right now is isolate that stuff. So we'll do that, and then we'll colorize it. We'll just kind of give it that kind of rusty reddish color. And then let's see what we can do about. Oh, that kind of does it. All right, we'll just lower the saturation on that, and then we'll invert this, and then we'll just apply it in the areas here. Oh. Anywho, you get the idea. Like getting that kind of rusty information in there, and then the material separation, you see the difference. And like maybe this is even too dark. So like having that as a separate material will allow you to break those materials apart. And then like this paint strip in the concept, it's just part of this metal. Right? So it would just be part of that surface. Instead of like a separate piece on top. Let's look at what else we got going on here. Modeling wise, it looks pretty good. It's really clean. So I guess like getting like where this edge is here, getting that damage and kind of break up there. This is pretty nicely modeled. I think getting some rusty dripping dirtiness going on in there instead of just this uniform damage you have going on in the roughness is going to be important. Especially with how much stuff is going on here with like scratches and dings and color changing, rust and all that jazz, drips and streaks and stuff. Totally going to, like in here, getting some of that on this and like kind of dripping down. It's going to be key. This top view looks really interesting. I think getting some, it's all about like roughness aging, I guess is where it comes to. Poly count wise, this looks fine. I mean, you have enough geo, I think, where you need it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all coming down to your materials. If your materials sing, this model will be like AAA easy. It's just textural stuff. This area is interesting. You don't want to go too crazy like this. Like that's okay here. Just make sure it's not everywhere, right? Like you have it now, it's not everywhere. It's just kind of there. I think looking at more of like the superficial rust surface change versus like heavy paint damage is going to be key for the rest of the scene or the rest of the asset. Yeah, it's cool though. Solid. Solid. All right, what do we got next here? Art dude. Good old art dude. Yo yo. So link to work and link to references is the same. Overall execution areas to improve on. Oh dude, did we not? I thought I told you where to improve on with this. So it's making it not a box. The way you've modeled it, the way it's textured is pretty okay. I think from a color standpoint, it's maybe a little all over the place. Like a unified color scheme would probably help you. And then just making sure that the wall is not flat. Like, and we said too in the last stream as well, it's flat because you need to be able to run across it, right, in Titanfall. But if you're going for just making a pretty like cool looking scene, getting away from the very squared out hallway is basically it. You made some changes from the last input. So I will be straight up honest, I don't see any changes. Like if you're saying you push these elements back, then you push them back by like this much, and you need to push them back by that much. So like, I'm sorry, that sounds super rude, but I'm just trying to let you know. Let's see here. So let's say this is your hallway, right? This is kind of what it looks like right now. Let's just hang on here. I'm just gonna make this more even. So this is kind of like the vibe that we're getting. We can do this too. I always forget where the bridge. Art, bevel, slide. Oh, it's not in here? What? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we'll bridge that. So in here, it looks like we've got a split that happens somewhere around here. And then these guys kind of go in like this and like that. Give or take. Oh no, I've got the... Ah. Okay, so we got that, right? And then you got your wall pieces. I'm just going to split these off into their own. And what we'll do is actually grab these. Maybe like 2 and then 1, and then maybe we'll do 3 over there. So you're just trying to get that breakup, right? So by extruding these inward... Like, I feel like it was here. Oh, shit. Hang on. Sorry. Language. We don't want thicken. There we go. So I feel like it was here. And what I asked you to do got you here. But I think, like, straight up you need to, like that. That way you get some actual breakup of the wall edge. So like the other thing too. Do this. Actually, no. What am I doing? So if this is your floor as well, right? You can do all types of shape breakup. Wonder if, let me see if this will work. Oh, dude, it totally does. Okay, cool. So you grab these corners, for example. Bevel these, and we'll just turn it down to 1. And then you connect these ones, and these, and these. Yeah, cool. Bring that up. Oh. It's a bit hacky. There's some weird stuff going on too. Don't worry about that. But see like what you can do once you start to have like those details like away from. Well, I did some like crazy skewing when I extruded that instead of like just normally extruding it. Don't mind the messy geo. Wouldn't ship it like that, of course. But like, that allows you to get that shape transition and breakup that you're kind of getting on the ceiling. Because it's really important to kind of get away from the square hallway. And if you can, this is one way to do it, right? What? Huh. Yeah, I think you get what I'm saying. So that's the reason. So like what you were saying, this is the last thing I'll say before we move on. What? There we go. So the very bottom is the concept, right? This is, see, and you're doing reference transitioning to recreation. Like it's pretty cool that you're as close as you are. Like, and you even have a little bit more of a gritty detail to the material, which is pretty interesting. I think you could use some more, maybe a little bit more roughness variation, but the fact that it's spot on is kind of cool. The downside is that it's spot on. Like, if you were to think about it, this is going to be super lame to say, but like, for the people working at this company at Respawn, right? They will hire someone who is pushing environments that look like they belong in Titanfall, but they've never seen before. And they've been working on their games for years, right? So if they're seeing environment art that is like something they've never seen before, but they're like, that would totally be in our game, they're going to want you. Now, like, you've recreated this spot on, and the reason that their hallway is so flat has everything to do with gameplay. So when they see a scene that is just as flat as their stuff, it's showing that you're sacrificing your artistic skills in order to confine to the gameplay experience, which is not what an art director will want to know or see, per se. But like this is dope. This is a great way to approach it. With a few more like doorways and wall pieces, dude, you could make like an entire building. You need like a stairwell. You need a few wall pieces that have the little window that they can hop through and stuff, right? It's all there. Dude, and the approach you did with the materials and stuff, this is like great. You're definitely going pretty hardcore on the dirtiness in the albedo. I would try and keep that into your into your metallic and roughness. But yeah, this is cool. Oh, see, this looks... See, now I'm thinking, now that I've seen this, maybe your colors... No, that's cool. Maybe your colors need to be toned down. Maybe they're too... Well... I don't know. The colors of the pipes on the ceiling just distracting, I guess. Like, what's the purple one mean? That's crazy. Anywho. Yes. We've said a lot on this piece. I think you're ready to move on and make the next sick scene. What are the based off photos I gathered? Hey, Art Dude, no problem, man. I hope what I'm saying is helpful. So we've got who is this? Is it Tire Stain? Is that how I say it? I don't know if that's how I say it. Thomas. Good old Thomas. So link to your reference or inspiration, you said, based off photos I gathered. So I'm just going to go off of, like, hang on here. I mean, do you know that it's in the Instagram? Definitely knows how to fill out the details in a large space. Dude, we even announced it for you on on the Discord. We like tagged everyone that we could find the names to. Oh, that's funny. Anyways, I think your attention to detail and the amount of propping that you put into the space, storytelling, it's all... You're a noob on Discord? It's fine. We're all noobs on Discord. That's what makes Discord Discord. Everyone's a noob. So I think where things are breaking down, and your lighting is saving a lot of the problems that are coming through on this last image. So how you've approached the plastic bags, the garbage bags, and the noise on them, as well as the roughness of the paint here, it feels like it's just not the materials that you're expecting it to be. And then the detail wrinkling or creasing on the plastic, I'm like, creasing on the plastic is distracting you away from the actual shapes of the plastic itself, if that makes sense. I mean, other than that, dude, I'm like looking at this scene and yeah, I mean, you definitely had some reference, that's for sure. I would see if you can find whoops. Sorry. Yeah, tone down the like, I don't think you actually need a detail normal on this. If you do, it's a very soft value that's being applied to the overall shape. Because like the plastic bag and how you've, like, did you use Marvelous for that? No, you did not. Okay. At least I don't see it here. Oh, you didn't list Marvelous in here. I guess maybe you're limited to 6. But like, you're losing the details that Marvelous is giving you because they're getting noisified by the detail normal. Like, I would half the tiling amount of the detail normal and then half or even more lower the strength of it. As far as the paint on this goes, I would look at a trash can with this type of paint on it and see how rough it actually is. And then the only other thing I think I would say is, there's 2 things. Okay, so these sharp edges here, and finding ways to break those up, either by beveling them or adding a little bit of geometry to just bend them around a little bit. And then either making another car or investing in a library of vehicles that you could use for other scenes later. And just say, hey, I bought these cars from this person, or this is where you get these vehicles. I don't know if that exists, but yeah. Oh, and the other thing, we deliver. So see this phone number? This is the last thing, and then I have to get out of here, guys. There is a, so you know, there's a lot of movies that are made that are in the United States, and there's a lot of signs and stuff that have phone numbers and stuff on them, right? Let me find the... There is a set of phone numbers that you're allowed to use legally that are free, that no one has a phone number to. And they're used by like all movies and whatnot. I'm trying to find it. So one of the most common ones is the 555-1212. But yeah, you have to be really careful with phone numbers because the way they're formatted, if you dial them in, some phone companies in some countries will fill in the rest, assuming that you meant those are all zeros or something like that, and then it'll call something. So the main reason movies and television shows use the 555-XXXX, so those numbers could be anything, was because for decades nobody was assigned to those phone numbers because 555, with the exception of the operator for directory assistance at 555-1212. So all those phone numbers were up for grabs, and basically all of film grabbed the crap out of them, and now they're just dedicated to entertainment, those phone numbers. And Smurf, you're correct. I don't have too much to say on this, man. It's pretty solid. I think just the things I mentioned, hard edges, vehicle selection, and those close-up props show some of your material weaknesses. That's about it. That's all I gotta say on the matter. But yeah, cool. Coolio. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Thank you for the subs, the follows, all the things that you may have done for me to show your appreciation. I will see you guys on Monday, I think. We'll see. I'm on vacation now. I'm off until the 10th. But, yeah, cool. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Cheers and enjoy your Saturday. It's Saturday, right? I'm already forgetting what day it is. This is great. All right, later.